Merlot. Merlot, Merlot, Merlot. Merlot. Merlot, Merlot. Merlot, Merlot. Merlot, Merlot. Effin' Merlot. Merlot. Effing Merlot. Thank you. Good night. I'm just kidding. No. We're actually going to talk about the wine. But hope you catch my drift. Effin' Merlot. This is a strange one, right? The whole sideways paradox, the whole 20 years of no effing Merlot in California because one actor who didn't know a ton about wine at the time in one movie, which was artisanal and independent, and albeit a very fine film, decided that Merlot was no good. And apparently all of America, like lemmings, were like, yeah, Merlot's no good. Are we that shallow as a people? Don't answer that, Patrick. They will reply. Apparently we are. Because for 20 years, Merlot got the booty end of the stick. And it hasn't changed a lick. That rhymes. I didn't plan it. I didn't write that. But effing Merlot, man. And you don't understand, when all this broke down, Merlot was still a big deal. We sold a ton of Merlot, and there was a lot of great Merlot. Now, what happened is the Cabernet crowd said to themselves, oh, that's great, thinning of the herd, because there was a lot of crap Merlot coming in the market. How much crap Cabernet is in the market now? It's $70 a bottle, mind you, right? Merlot is a beautiful grape. It is one of the greatest red wine grapes in the world. Chateau Petrus, 100-point Pomerol, the most expensive wine in Bordeaux, $5,000 a bottle, is 100% Merlot. Hate to break it to you. I still get shock and awe when I tell people this. They're like, really? I hate Merlot. Have you had one? No, but the movie? And you're like, and like a little piece of me dies every time I hear that here in the store. So hopefully today, we get to re-Merlot you. You're going to get re-Merloted. It's going to happen. And we're going to do it with this wine. This is the Farella 2014 Merlot Coombsville Napa Valley. What? Yes, 2014. That is the vintage. Frank Farella founded Farella Vineyards in 1985. Planted the first grapes in 1977 in this area that everyone thought he was a friggin' idiot. Oh, look at you. Hey, hear about that guy planting grapes down in southeastern Napa? What an idiot. And in 1977, yeah, 50 years earlier, no climate change, no, And so a lot of people were like, yeah, what a knob. And then his son was like, holy crap, cool climate Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot in southeastern Napa. I better get my chops together in cooler climates. So Tom, his son, ended up working at Jacques Prieur in Merceau, ended up working at Ponzi in Oregon, at Beaufrere in Oregon, because Tom was steeling himself to produce these cool climate style wines from these super cool vineyards down in southeastern Napa. Well, guess what? Things changed. Who's laughing now? Who's the idiot now, right? The Farella family now sit on a veritable gold mine. What kind of a gold mine? Well, the type of gold mine where arguably the hottest producer in the Napa Valley, Realm Cellars, leased 2/3 of their vineyard from them. Think about that. Realm, y'all are on fighting to get on their mailing list, 100 point this, 100 point that, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, can't find a bottle of it. They leased 2/3 of Tom Farella's vineyard. Oh, what do we have from us today? Oh, just one of the greatest Merlots ever made in the Napa Valley from a vineyard that is now one of the hottest / coolest sites in Napa. And we're going to sell it to you because we love you. And we want you to ... re-Merlot. So let's check it out. 2014, excellent vintage in the Napa Valley. This was part of a an incredible run of vintages in Napa, starting with 2012 to a certain extent, running through 13, 14, 15, 16. Only the 17 gave him a little bit of a Bozak, gave him the stink face a bit. But from 12 to 16, you had this remarkable run. And 14 was just a beautiful, textbook, gorgeous vintage in the Napa Valley. Stunning wines across the board, without quite the weight of 13, but better than 12, because 12, higher yields, little dilution in the wines, we come to find out later on. And 14 was just this Zen vintage, man. This is like Buddhist type vintage for wines. And think about it. The Farellas planted Merlot back in 77. So they already had this history, which, by the way, a lot of the great Merlot wines from Napa Valley in the early 90s were all coming from this area. A lot of people don't know about guys like Michael Havens and some of these other guys that were producing world-class Merlot from Coombsville, from the Wilson Vineyard in this neck of the woods. Great, great sites that were producing profound, powerful, rich, decadent, beautiful, silky, velvety Merlot wines, even in the early 90s. So Merlot was already a thing because Merlot, as you may or may not know, is an earlier ripener, doesn't mind its feet a little wet, doesn't mind it a little cooler, and you don't have to worry about the season as much. You don't have to worry about late season rains with Merlot because it's picked earlier than Cabernet Sauvignon, so you have a better window for picking, and accordingly, you can make extremely profound, I'm gonna have a little more actually, sorry, extremely profound Merlot wines from Southern Napa, and it's been that way for decades, honestly. But for the last 20 years, Merlot hasn't been on anybody's mind, except for Tom Farella's. Tom has always made great Merlot from this vineyard here in Coombsville. And it's because of that guys like Realm call him and go like, hey, you know, like, what are you doing with your vineyard right now? And he's like, well, I'll lease it to you for a bunch of money. And they were like, yeah, okay. This is why. Look at this color. Beautiful. So this wine is 11 years old. This Merlot, it's 11 years old from a great vintage. Beautiful, fresh, dark ruby color. Oh, so good. The cocoa powder, it smells velvety. The red fruits, you get this deep black cherry. You know, the thing with Merlot, Merlot is not cassis. It is not blackberry. That's Cabernet's domain. Merlot is, when it's right, it's that dark black cherry, you know? And when you get that, you're like, I could drink 9 bottles of this. And I could drink 9 bottles of this, but we'd have to have the paddles handy. Or it'd be, yeah, no. I'm gonna stick to just 9 glasses. Little black olive here. The cool climate, you feel Coombsville here. That little hint of black olive, like tapenade coming into it. Wow. I can't believe, I mean, they literally, I guess, tripped over a pallet of this in the winery. And apparently the local distributor said, hey, let's sell this, but we'd like to sell for around the same price as the current vintage. And, you know, Tom just signed a big deal with Realm, so he's pretty comfortable. He's like, yeah, okay. So we get such a great opportunity here. I'm so tickled with this wine. You know, it's like Pomerol and Saint Emilion. It's like they are what they are, right? Because of Merlot. You have structure here. This wine still has a nice little tannic spine at 11 years. The wine's cruising. It's just like, okay, oh, look at this little snapshot of me. Well, you know, throw me a cellar for 5 more years, you'll get another little fun snapshot. This wine is not going anywhere anytime soon. 11 years, incredibly youthful. The vibrancy of the cooler climate in Coombsville creates tension and energy in this wine. And that tension and energy allows the wine to develop and grow in the bottle. And that's exactly what this wine is doing. Just a brilliant example of classic cool climate Napa Valley Merlot in a great vintage. What a treat this is. Like, y'all don't know. And the only way is if you buy some of this. Then you'll get it. So, again, we're not going to shame anybody into doing anything, but it would really behoove you to try a few bottles of this really terrific effin' Merlot from the Farella family. Nobody does it better. Oh, by the way, $65 at the winery. Your price, $36.98. I'm just saying, this is stealing. Cheers.